Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into a brand new explainer, and let me tell you, this one is an absolute psychological roller coaster. We are unpacking the anatomy of a truly chilling digital deception. Picture this, it's a freezing rainy night in Chicago. The streets are totally deserted. And right there, sitting next to a street drain and glowing in the dark, is a mud-covered, cracked iPhone. Now let's be honest, most of us would probably just keep walking, right? But the protagonist in this case, a 24-year-old college student named Maya, well, she stops. Her empathy kicks in, she picks it up, and that is exactly when the nightmare begins.
It's crazy how quickly one innocent choice can drag you into the dark. Imagine standing right there in Maya's shoes. The second she wipes the mud off the screen, she sees the wallpaper. It's a smiling blonde girl, maybe 17 years old. Then, at exactly 1:17 a.m., the dead phone suddenly vibrates. The screen flashes unknown caller. She hesitates, obviously, but she answers it. All she hears is heavy breathing and then this terrified whisper, "Please, don't let them know you found it." Then, click, the line goes dead. Talk about an immediate hook, right? You are literally anchored into Maya's terrifying reality in that exact moment.
So Maya scrambles home, plugs this cracked phone into a charger, and the second it powers up, the screen absolutely blows up with missed texts. But what really makes her blood run cold is the notification sitting right on the lock screen. A missing girl alert for Emily Dawson, age 17. And it hits Maya like a ton of bricks. Emily is the smiling blonde girl from the wallpaper. And she's been missing for 3 days. Maya does what any of us would do. She immediately starts searching the news. The police think Emily just ran away from a party. But right as she's reading that, a brand new text pops up on the found phone. It just says, "You should have left it where you found it."
Act 1. Taking the bait.
Let's map out this timeline, because the pacing of this psychological manipulation is just wild. 3 days ago, Emily vanishes. By the morning of day 3, the police officially classify her as a runaway. But that night, Maya gets a live FaceTime call on that found phone. Against her better judgment, she picks it up. The video is super shaky. It's pitch black, but for a split second, Maya sees Emily. She's sobbing, there's tape over her mouth, and she's tied to this filthy concrete wall. A man's voice whispers, "Now she's involved too," before the screen just cuts out. Maya immediately takes all of this straight to Detective Sarah Blake. But Detective Blake is staring at a literal impossibility here.
Here is where the story completely defies logic. Detective Blake takes the phone from Maya, pops open the side panel, and her face just totally drops. She looks at Maya and says, "There's no SIM card in this." Maya is completely baffled. I mean, she just got texts, she just answered a live FaceTime call, but technically, logically, structurally, that phone is physically incapable of doing any of that. It's like the trap itself bent reality just to make sure Maya was looking exactly where the mastermind wanted her to look.
Act 2. Following the breadcrumbs.
But here's the thing. The digital artifacts left behind start to seriously contradict the whole kidnapping narrative. Maya gets this anonymous email with a video file attached, titled video-117.mp4. And check out the timestamp, 1:17 a.m. That is the exact time Maya first answered that phone. The video shows security footage of a gas station. A guy in a black hoodie walks up and slips a note to Emily. Emily reads it, she looks totally terrified, but then, and this is the absolute key detail here, she willingly follows him into a black SUV. This isn't some violent abduction where she's kicking and screaming. It genuinely looks like he knew some kind of dark secret, and she felt like she had absolutely no choice but to go with him.
And those secrets lead straight to this next massive set of clues. Detective Blake ends up digging up a hidden secondary social media account belonging to Emily. It's just packed with these dark, cryptic, private posts. One phrase keeps repeating over and over. "He picks the girls who lie." Creepy, right? But it's the very last instruction left on that account that blows the case wide open. "If anything happens to me, check the lake house." When Maya mentions this, the detective realizes that Emily's stepfather actually owns an abandoned property out in the local woods. The breadcrumbs did their job perfectly. They led our protagonist and the cops right to the front door.
Now, I want you to seriously ask yourself, would you walk into the dark? Think about it. It's this incredibly foggy, isolated patch of woods way outside of town. The lake house is just sitting there, totally abandoned, next to pitch black water. You know a violent kidnapper might be waiting inside. You know you've been manipulated into coming here. The psychological tension is just off the charts. But Maya and Detective Blake, they step inside. The place is covered in dust and broken furniture, but right there on the floor are fresh footprints leading straight down to the basement.
Act 3.
The jaws snap shut. They follow those fresh footprints down to a heavy, locked metal door, and behind it, they can hear faint crying. Emily is alive. Detective Blake draws her weapon, gets ready to breach, and boom, every single light in the house goes out. The trap is officially sprung. A speaker suddenly crackles to life in the pitch black, and this man's voice echoes through the empty house with this absolutely haunting line. Curious girls always become part of the story. In the exact second he finishes that sentence, the basement door deadbolts shut behind them.
Suddenly, Maya's phone buzzes in her pocket. It's a live camera feed. Someone is inside that house, sitting in the dark, watching them at that exact moment. Then a chilling text pops up on the screen. One of you leaves alive. The claustrophobia here is literally suffocating. You can hear these slow, deliberate footsteps creaking on the floorboards right above their heads. They're completely cornered.
Detective Blake manages to force open the metal door to the room. Inside, they find Emily. She's tied to a chair, crying hysterically. The rescue is right there. They did it. And then, bang. Detective Blake just collapses. She's shot from behind. Maya spins around in absolute horror, totally expecting to see the man in the hoodie. But instead, she sees Emily. Emily is holding the smoking gun. And you guys, Emily is smiling. I mean, my jaw literally hit the floor when I read this part. She wipes away her fake tears, looks dead at Maya, and whispers, "There was never a kidnapper." In one single second, the entire narrative completely flips on its head.
To really wrap our heads around how this happened, we have to look at the mastermind's methodology. We have to talk about what a scapegoat actually is. By definition, it's a person who is blamed for the wrongdoings, mistakes, or faults of others. Maya was never just randomly chosen because she happened to walk by a dropped phone. No, she was chosen because her human empathy made her vulnerable. It was weaponized against her. Maya was carefully and meticulously recruited to play a very specific part in a much larger, incredibly dark game of social engineering.
Let's break down Emily's actual blueprint here, step by step, because the audacity of this plan is just wild. Emily was never the victim. She was the architect of the whole thing. Step 1, Emily and her boyfriend were targeting lonely men online. Step 2, they were blackmailing these guys and stealing their money. But one of their victims decided to fight back, and things spiraled completely out of control. The cops were closing in fast. So, step 3, Emily totally fabricates this elaborate serial killer kidnapping story to use as an alibi. But to make it work, she needs step 4. She needs the perfect, innocent witness to parrot her story to the police. She needed someone highly credible to survive and testify about the fake man in the black hoodie. She needed Maya.
When you stack the decoy up against the master plan, the sheer genius of her psychological con is honestly terrifying. The decoy, which is exactly what the police and Maya were meant to swallow, was that an innocent teenage runaway was snatched by a violent stalker. But the master plan? A cornered criminal completely invented a phantom serial killer to act as a scapegoat for her own massive crime ring. The psychology of framing here is next level. Every single text, those impossible SIM-less phone calls, the anonymous gas station video, it was all just stagecraft.
So what happens next? Utter chaos. Hearing police sirens wailing outside, Emily panics and lunges for Maya, but Maya grabs a nearby lamp, smashes it right into Emily's face, and just runs for her life as gunshots explode behind her. Detectives storm the house, but Emily manages to slip away into the dark woods. Fast forward exactly 3 days later. The number 3, Emily's body is discovered floating in the freezing waters of the lake. The police declare the mastermind dead. The case is officially closed. Which brings us to the number 6. 6 whole months pass. Maya goes back to her life. The horror slowly fades into this false sense of security. She's healing, she's moving on. Until one rainy night, she's sitting alone in her apartment, and at exactly 1:17 a.m., her phone rings, and the screen flashes unknown caller.
She answers it. For a few seconds, all she hears is slow, heavy breathing, and then a terribly familiar voice whispers through the speaker. "You really thought I died?" The line instantly disconnects. Just like that, the cozy illusion of a closed case is completely shattered in 5 little words. The body in the lake wasn't the end of the game. It was literally just another decoy.
And that leaves us with one final, deeply chilling thought. Because mere moments after that phone call ends, Maya's phone screen lights up with a brand new notification, a brand new missing girl alert. The digital deception never actually stopped, you guys, it just rebooted. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. If the mastermind is still out there, pulling the strings from the shadows, who is the next scapegoat? Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with me today. Keep questioning the details, and I'll see you all next time.